Welcome back to Clash of Cultures as we continue our 2023 college football preview. Today, we're going to be talking and ranking the top Big Ten quarterbacks. So 1 through 5, we'll be ranking the quarterbacks. But before we get into ranking the quarterbacks, like always, we want to thank you guys all for the love and support. Please press the like. Please press the subscribe. Please turn on notifications. And please comment below your thoughts, especially on this video or any other videos that you may have seen. But before we get into our preview, one more time, I have the trivia today. So my trivia, we're going to do I'm going to name the player, and Steven is going to name the college.
5 of them, right?
I have 5. Yes,
okay.
I have 5. So we're going to start
from the easiest to the toughest that you think.
Yeah, I'm going to start with the easiest. So my first one, number 5. Number 5. You think you're gonna nail these?
I'm money with this. I'm not gonna lie. I'm money with these.
All right. My number 1 is Cooper Kupp.
He went to Eastern Washington.
No.
Or he went to Yakima Valley Community College, I believe, and then he didn't go to Eastern Washington. Or did he go to Central Washington?
Let me make sure I'm not tripping. Because maybe I wrote it wrong.
Because he's from Yakima.
He is from Yakima.
He's from Yakima, Washington. And I thought he went to Eastern Washington, the Redfield. Am I tripping?
Oh, you said it right. Eastern Washington.
Okay, I'm about to say, you made me think I was tripping.
I wrote it wrong. Okay, so you got that right. All right. Number 2, Justin Tucker.
Oh, shoot. A kicker.
Yeah.
Justin Tucker. He had to have went to a Power 5.
It's a top offensive player.
Shout out to Christian. Those of you guys who were there for that video, that was months ago. I don't think I'm gonna know this one. I have no idea. Iowa. I don't know. Where'd he go?
He went to Texas.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna get that one. That was a tough one.
All right, number 3. We're getting a little bit harder. I thought that one was easier. We're getting a little bit harder. Alan Lazard.
Iowa State?
Iowa State. Pretty good. Pretty good.
Oh, that's money.
All right. Number 4. Evan Ingram.
Florida?
No.
Miami?
No.
Evan Ingram. Ole Miss. I don't know why. Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
I had to picture. I had to picture him in the uniform. That was my bad.
All right. Last one. David Montgomery.
Ooh, running back. He might have been Iowa State as well.
He was.
Yeah.
5 for 5. I see you.
Boy. No. 4 for 5. 4 for 5.
Oh yeah, you missed
Tucker. I missed Tucker.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, but nonetheless, let's get into talking about the top 5 Big Ten quarterbacks. But before we start talking about the top 5, hold on one second. Let me pull up my list.
What else you got? You got something new?
No. I just want to know: is there any honorable mentions that's on your list that or that's not on your list that you would that you want to name?
So I did not. So just being honest, the quarterback for, and you see, you put me on the spot now. The quarterback for Penn State.
Drew Aller.
Yeah, Drew Aller did not make my list. That would have been my honorable mention.
Okay. I'll go with my number 5.
Who's your honorable mention? You have one?
I don't really have an honorable mention.
Okay.
But I will in a second. Technically, you'll see.
Okay.
My number 5 is Drew Aller. So that's basically who you just named. So just because if you're number 5, that means we're not going to have somebody. So
yeah.
So my number 5 is Drew Aller. Obviously, he's stepping in for Sean Clifford over in Penn State. We talked a little bit about him last episode with the whole Penn State Utah thing, but I think he has the potential to be good. Obviously, Penn State is a great program. They're bringing back a lot. They have a lot of expectations this year of being in the same division as Ohio State and Michigan. But again, kind of like what I said the last couple of videos, got to see it on the field. On paper is not good enough. So we'll have to see. But I think he was worthy of being in the top 5. So I have him right at the edge. Number 5.
So my number 5, and because it's a sight unseen, this is where I'm going. But I go Kyle McCord or Devin Brown, whoever starts for Ohio State. I think Ohio State quarterback has been the Big Ten Player of the Year for like the last 7-8 years in a row. I think whoever it is, they're going to put up numbers, and they could very easily move up this list. But right now, because it's a sight unknown, we have not seen them play, just like Drew Aller. I have them at number 5.
So I don't have an Ohio State quarterback on my list, just because of the whole situation going on over there. But my number 4 is going to be Cade McNamara from Iowa. I think although he got his, I guess you want to say his job taken in Michigan, JJ McCarthy's obviously on this list. So I still think he's a top 5 quarterback in the Big Ten. And I think he's going to excel at Iowa. I think he's the best quarterback. He's the best quarterback Iowa has had in a while. Not to say that he's a Heisman caliber quarterback or anything of that nature. But I think he's a quality quarterback. And he may be able to give that offense, which was a little bit stagnant last year, that push. So, that's why I have him at 4. I think that's a respectable spot for him on this list.
Yeah. So just like you, I also had Cade at number 4 on my list. So yeah, I'm with that.
All right. Who is your number 3?
So for number 3, this is where I have, and I'm gonna mess this dude.
Tagovailoa. I was about to tell you.
Yeah. So I have from Maryland. We kind of talked about him a little bit. I don't want to mess up his name, but Tua's little brother put up big numbers. Third in the Big Ten quarterbacks last year, over 3,000 yards passing, 18 touchdowns. And I expect even bigger things from him this year.
My number 3 is Tanner Mordecai. The reason why I have him at number 3, my number 2 is Talia, by the way. So I have
those flip flops.
I was about to say that. So we have him flip flopped, and obviously we know who number 1 is. We'll get to him in a second. But I have Tanner here solely based off of the schedule that he played. That's the only reason. Now it's kind of like in basketball terms, like if you're a shooter, you can shoot at any level. Like I kind of get that. But when you're a quarterback and you're looking at the defenses, there's different talent from where he was playing compared to the Big Ten. Obviously, Talia played against, in the toughest division in the Big Ten. Yeah. Arguably the second, arguably it could be the toughest division in football, in college football, honestly. You have the SEC West with LSU, Alabama, and A&M and those guys. But, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan right now, I think would be right up there with anybody, any division in college football. So I think him having to play those tough teams, I gave him the edge over Tanner. But I think at the end of the year, it could change, obviously. Tanner Mordecai had 33 touchdowns last year, 35 touchdowns, something crazy like that. Tagovailoa didn't have that much numbers, but again, he's playing against tougher opposition. So it's kind of hard to compare the two. It's apples to oranges. So we'll see a full year, obviously, barring any injuries. We'll see a full year from both. I think Wisconsin and Maryland are about the same when you talk about their kind of outlook and projection for this year. So it's not like one of them are on Michigan, the other one's on, Illinois or something. Right. They're both on middle of the road teams in the Big Ten. So I think we can really see who the best guy is. Why did you have him the way you had him?
Yeah, so just like you mentioned, Tanner Mordecai coming over to Wisconsin, it's going to be something different. This is a team that's spreading out, but Tanner's put up numbers. Now, obviously, it wasn't, and to Steven's point, and I can see at this point, it wasn't in the Big Ten East. So we're going to see what he does playing in the Big Ten. Now, obviously, Wisconsin's in the West, but I think the ability's there. I think if he can do what he did previous, I suspect that he's going to put up numbers, especially as they look to spread it out. And I think he's going to throw the ball around. So yeah, I like Tagovailoa. I think he's a great quarterback. I think, like I said, he gave Ohio State all they could handle. He's done more probably with less in a, like you said, a very good conference. But just looking at numbers, I had to give it to Tanner Mordecai.
Okay, and obviously, those of you guys who stuck around this far in the video, we know who number 1 is. And I think it was more so of like a default pick.
Yes.
No disrespect, but I just think obviously he's a winner. So I will say that. I just don't know if you're looking at, the talent perspective, if he's more talented than these guys. That's what I would say. But I think he's earned the number one spot with Michigan. I think he's in the best scenario. He's in the best situation. So I think he's going to have the easiest road to be successful on this list. I guess that's going to be the best way I can put it. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that he's a slouch or he's not deserving of the top spot. All I'm saying is I don't think he is leaps and bounds ahead of Tanner or Talia or I mean, I'm not even gonna say McCord because we haven't seen McCord play. But I would say those two guys. I don't think he's leaps and bounds arm talent wise and game wise. But I just think he's done it. So he's proved it on the field. He's made it to the playoffs. He's won. So I mean, we kind of have to give him that nod.
Yeah. So let me say this. My putting JJ here was out of respect. Again, like Steven has said, he's won. I couldn't put, obviously, Cade above him because he beat Cade out for the starting job. It's a guy who's won the Big Ten, and the guy who won the Big Ten before that, he beat him out for the starting job. We don't know what Kyle is, but I think you said he's the most prone for success. I believe that because Michigan has a power running game. However, I think Ohio State offensively, and I'm only mentioning it offensively, has more weapons. So I think Kyle McCord has the easier path to success because you have playmakers on the outside where I think Ohio State's receivers are better than Michigan's receivers. Now, I will say JJ has a path to success because I think Michigan's game plan is going to be go pound the ball with Corum and Edwards. But in terms of putting up numbers, I think at the end of the year, whoever the Ohio State starting quarterback is going to have the best quarterback numbers.
I agree with that.
Yards, touchdowns, things like that. But JJ, with his ability to move, with his ability to extend plays, with his ability to make big plays when it matters, he may have a bigger impact.
Yeah, I agree. But nonetheless, that is going to wrap it up for our top 5 quarterbacks in the Big Ten preseason rankings. I'm heading into the 2023 season. As always, if you guys stuck around with us this long, make sure you guys comment down below what you agree, what you disagree with. If there's any quarterbacks we didn't name that you guys would have named, I'm sure fans of other teams are going to, chime in, which is always wanted, and we want to engage with you guys in the comment section. But nonetheless, we will see you guys tomorrow with the ACC video. Peace out.